Friday the 13th, so we thought we'd get the Speakmans in to help with any superstitions you might have. Of course they are. Morning, guys. What are we up to out there?
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, today, as we've said, it's Friday the 13th, and there are so many people waking up this morning, either fearful, cautious, or not even wanting to leave the house. So, you know, are you somebody that knocks on wood, that throws salt over the shoulder if they spill it? Maybe you panic if you smash a mirror. Or are you somebody, actually, that would salute if you see a single magpie? Superstitions even.
Affect millions of people in the UK. Are you one of them? Would you walk under this ladder, for example? I spoke to someone this morning who said they saw a car crash, and obviously it's because of Friday the 13th. Excuse me, would you be willing to walk under this ladder? No. See, if you're one of those people, please give us a call.
Today, Friday the 13th, obviously all about superstitions. Who else could help you but the Speakmans? Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, do you know what? When you start talking about superstitions, it's amazing how many there are. You know, not standing on the cracks of pavements, not putting your umbrella up in the house, black cats. And get this, I don't know if anybody else has heard of this one, but I have just heard that apparently it's supposed to be unlucky to cut your toenails or your fingernails on a Sunday.
There are literally so many superstitions, and potentially everyone's got one. Like putting a hat on the bed or new shoes on the table. But today we've been talking to people and trying to get them to walk under a ladder. Not with a lot of success, but we've got a lady here who we shared our process with. And she believes that she can eventually do it.
Are you going to give it a go? Yep. OK, come on through. Let's see if she can do it.
Come on.
Yay!
Yay! So, she walks under the ladder. Could you?
Yeah, so if there's anything troubling you with your superstition, there's something you can't do because of it, give us a call. We'd absolutely love to hear from you.
Speaking of Friday, it is, of course, Friday the 13th, a day that many consider very unlucky. Well, don't worry about a thing, because the Speakmans are here to tackle any superstitions that you might have. So let's get straight to our caller. Before we get to our caller, actually, where did this Friday the 13th come from? Because I heard it was biblical.
Well, it is. I mean, there's two theories on it, because, firstly, Judas was the 13th disciple to come to the Last Supper. So, obviously, not great for that. And then the Norse gods had a party in Valhalla. Let's not talk about parties too much. But the 13th uninvited guest was Loki, the god of mischief.
So interesting. How this all stems from. Now, Terry, good morning.
Morning, Terry.
Hello.
Oh, morning. Now, your mum's not very well at the moment, is she?
No, she's not. She's in King's.
So where is she at the moment?
She's in King's College Hospital.
OK. And you're quite scared to visit her because of your superstition, is that right?
Yeah, I'm just panicking that, because today is the worst day, and I haven't been able to go all week due to having COVID. So today's the only day that I can, but I'm scared just because I just don't want to leave, because if something happens, I'm going to just blame the day, what it is.
Of course.
Sure.
OK, guys,
Yeah.
what can you do?
Yeah, and completely understand that you kind of, it's a very emotional time for you. Can I just ask you, though, is your mum on the mend?
Well, kind of, yeah,
Good.
as sort of day by day.
Good, I'm pleased to hear that. So, Terry, I completely understand where you're coming from when we have a superstition. We don't want to rock the boat. We're frightened that if we do something, then we will suddenly become responsible for those things. And that's basically how superstitions work. However, what is very common is that superstitions are often learned from our parents. So, is your mum superstitious?
Yes, I would say I'm definitely worse, 100%, but she is,
Yeah, OK, and that's quite common, that if a learned behaviour does get kind of worse because children exaggerate things, so as a kid you would have made it a lot worse, because that's just what children do, so, which is all fine. So the fact that you learned this from your mum, you know, that's just one of those things, just as you learn your accent, you don't think about it, you just kind of copy behaviour, you've done the same. So the first thing I'd like you to consider is that it actually doesn't, in essence, belong to you. But the second thing, and, you know, if, for example, another member of your family were to say to your mum, it's Friday the 13th, Terry can come and see you, would you like her to come and see you? What do you think she'd say?
She would say yeah, because she would like to see me.
OK, well, that's realistically what I would like you to consider, because if you sort of break it down, it is your mum's. This is your mum's fear. You learned it from her. So this is her thing. And if she says that it's a good thing to do and she's giving you permission, then actually the responsibility is your mum's and not yours. And equally, you know, I know that you're going seeing your mum will make her feel so much better, particularly if she's not seen you for a week or so. But again, as well, like with all superstitions, understanding where they came from and understanding that it just came about because of a 13th member at the Last Supper, because of something dating back to history, that it wasn't ever said that it was going to be unlucky forever. It was just unlucky because that, you know, of that person or that thing, that situation. So
if you consider superstitions in general, Terry, they're all based on a story, and the stories that happened before we had science, before we had medicine, and you know, and they've just been passed on. But one thing that you did say, you said, if I went to see my mum and something bad happened, I would blame the day. But if you don't go and see your mum, you could potentially blame yourself, you know, because when you're in hospital, there's nothing better than having visitors.
No, exactly that.
Does that help, Terry?
Yes, 100%.
Best of luck.
Are you going to get ready and go now?
Go.
Get ready and go.
Oh, yeah, 100. Thank you so much.
I'll give your mum a squeeze from all of us, Terry.
Hello from us.
Let's get to Rachel in Surrey now. Rachel, you knock on wood to stop your family getting it. Listen, I was seeing off the same hymn sheet here because I'm a big knock on wooder. But you take it to quite extremes. Is that right, Rachel?
Yeah, I know I sound a bit crazy, but I get these intrusive thoughts that, like, something might happen to them, or I might see an advert on TV for, like, a serious illness, and then I panic that they might have it. So then I have to knock wood, because then I feel guilty that if I don't knock wood, it could happen, and like I could be responsible, and yeah, it's weird, really weird.
Yeah, OK. So what you're saying is that if you knock on wood to prevent family members, children being ill, is that right?
Yeah, to prevent my children becoming ill,
OK, completely get it. So that would suggest then that you must be or have a heightened awareness of ill health anyway, so like health anxiety. Is that the case?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Oh, OK. So what you're saying, and this is the thing with superstitions, is that when we feel maybe out of control, we try and give ourselves a sense of control by doing something. However, what I'd like you to consider is that, you know, if, let's say that you had to go to the doctors and you knew that you needed perhaps a medication or a cream for something, and you went to your doctor and said, look, I've got this rash and I know what it is and I need some cream, and he was to say, or she was to say to you, right, well, all you need to do is go home and just knock on wood and it'll make it better, what would you say?
Well, yeah, I would listen to him.
You would or you wouldn't?
No, I would. Yeah, I definitely would.
So you're saying that you think that knocking on wood would cure an ailment?
No, I would. If that's what the doctor said, then I would listen to what the doctor.
Really? Okay.
I always turn to the doctors for reassurance.
Okay, right. And so you're getting no medication at all. This is for your children. You would not feel at all bothered that you're going away without any medication for your children and you're just knocking on wood.
Well, no. Obviously, I would listen to what the doctor says. But yeah, it's just this weird thing that I have to do. I just have to knock on wood.
Okay, okay. So what this tells us is that this stems back to childhood, and the reason that I say that is because of your response to my question, and that means that this is a schema or a belief that you've created in childhood and it's now affecting you in adulthood. So the first thing you need to do is really speak to somebody, seek therapy for the health anxiety, because ultimately this is what it comes down to. You feel out of control, so you're turning to anything at all possible to make yourself feel better, but also understanding the origin of the knock on wood, because actually you've got it a little bit wrong there, because that wasn't where the superstition came from.
Yeah, as I said earlier, all superstitions come from a time when we didn't have science and we didn't have medicine. And this actually originates from pagan times, where there was a belief that spirits lived in the trees. And therefore, if you knocked on the wood, then the spirits would protect you and you would feel better.
So that's literally, so I'd like you to consider getting that health anxiety checked out, because obviously that's something that's an underlying issue here. Also, then kind of looking into this knocking on wood, because then you get to learn, actually, got it wrong.
Yeah, no, that's helped me already, because it's obviously, what I'm doing is silly, so I shouldn't be doing it.
Amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, well done.
Rachel, nice talking
Thank
to
you.
you.
Good that she's
Best of luck.
seen that as well.
Yeah.
Have we got time for one more? OK, we're going to go to Daniel in Surrey. Morning, Daniel.
Good morning.
Morning, Daniel.
Just tell us a little bit about your crippling fear of Friday the 13th.
Oh, it's awful. Basically, when I come down the stairs, reach the bottom, I have to come back up to number 3 step, down, back to 2, down, and so on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And
just on Friday the 13th.
And is that just on Friday the 13th, or do you have other things that you do on other days as well?
I do have other things as well, but that's heightened on this specific day.
OK.
That ritual.
And when you say other things, like OCD behaviours and rituals...
Yes, OCD, definitely.
OK. Well, again, that makes sense. And this is, again, something that's your underlying, so always look to get that addressed. So definitely speak to somebody about that OCD behaviour. And the OCD behaviour and the superstitious behaviour would suggest, quite often, if we've had a lot of turbulence in our life, if we faced a lot of challenges when we felt out of control, then we kind of lose trust in ourselves, and we lose trust in the fact that we are actually pretty amazing, and anything that happens in life, if we apply ourselves, we can fix it, we can ask for help. But it kind of sounds like the fact that you're doing this, you've lost trust in yourself. So have you, I don't need to know what they are, but have you faced a lot of challenges and turbulence in your life?
Just a few,
Okay,
to
okay.
say the least.
Yeah, okay. So advice to you, Daniel, is get that OCD sorted out, because this could persist until you get that resolved. And then the second thing is like we've just said there, understand where that 13th came from, and that actually it was nothing to do, it was actually stories from years ago in our ancestry, like because we didn't understand how the world worked, we didn't understand about medicine, we didn't understand about science, we didn't understand the weather and assumed that a storm meant somebody must be angry. So we kind of believed in these things, and it's just being passed on. So knowledge is really key in helping you to overcome that 13th thing.
Lovely. That's great.
Thanks,
Daniel.
Daniel.
Thanks,
Good
Daniel. I hope
luck,
that's helped a
Daniel.
bit. Thanks, Daniel. Thanks, Speakmans.
Thank you so much.
So
That's so
interesting,
interesting.
isn't
So
it?
interesting.
And it's interesting how a superstition can become an OCD.
Yeah.
But ultimately, both of those things are based upon trying to stop bad things from happening.
Yeah. Oh, thank you
And it
so
comes
much.
from somewhere. There's always an
Yes.
origin.
Yeah.
Oh.